Hello everyone and welcome to Paddling Pool 210. I am Broken Pinky. I'm joined here by Spy and we're going to get right into things here with our first match between AFK Nexus and Haze. But first, I gotta ask, Spy, how you doing today?
I am doing really good, especially because this is a really special kind of paddling pool because this is a golden paddling pool, which is a little bit more exciting in my opinion, even if it's only zones. Zones is great.
I mean, Zones only is a bit divisive, but it is a special paddling pool. We do have a lot of entrants showing up for this golden paddling pool, so definitely excited to see how it all shakes out. But as I said, we're going to be starting things off with AFK Nexus versus Haze, and it's going to be on Zone Sturgeon. Spy, you got some thoughts on this map?
I always have mixed feelings about Sturgeon because, like, one time I played, I like it, and then the other time I just hate it. I feel like it just depends, but in general, I really don't hate this map. I think it's solid, and it's not that bad. It's one of the better maps we have in the game, in my opinion. Especially if we have things like Mincemeat Metalworks. Just to name one map that is really not good.
Yeah, Sturgeon is definitely one of the more solid maps in this game. It's not as amazing as some other Zones maps that exist in this game, but it's solid. It gets the job done. It's a very good, very familiar map, even still, so definitely no complaints about seeing it first here. In this matchup, we do have some other maps to look forward to in Mako and Undertow, should we get along in the set, but first things first, we got to start things off right on Zone Sturgeon, so it's going to be very interesting here. Do you think we're going to see some unique weapon picks or anything like that?
I feel like we could see a backline here because that spinner is just really good for a backline, I feel like. I expect to see at least... Oh, okay, that's cool. We are having some technical issues right now. We're just gonna fix this right now, but we can just continue to talk. Wait, what was I saying? Yeah,
you said backlines were great.
Exactly. I feel like backlines, we could see one backline. I feel like we're gonna see at least one splash or neo splash because it's just the weapon that is really good right now. Maybe a Splatana, Wiper, or Stamper. Maybe Tetras.
I mean, maybe. There's a lot that could happen, but I do appreciate that you pointed out that, yeah, we could see some Wonder. Who knows? Maybe some people want to mess around a bit, but I think it's interesting just to say that, yeah, double splash is not as dominant as it once was. It's still solid, but it's nothing you're going to see on every single team from now on. So it does kind of feel like a new lease on meta. We might even see some more aggro feeding comps with stuff like N-Try that's really been picking up in usage lately, as we saw on the UTV.
Yeah.
I love to see me some good N-Try gameplay. The true soda slosher, as many will call it, including myself.
I mean, I would look forward to a kind of tactical or QR kind of meta. I feel like I would enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of knocking on the door of that. Just because, like, of how everything's shaking out, you know, Crab is much less dominant, displacing is a lot more valuable, and free entry specials are a lot more in demand, but Juice can still help you just muscle your way in at times and just help you win fights for free.
Yeah. But honestly, I feel like Crab is still a little bit annoying to fight. I hate that one-shot combo. I'm sorry, but it must be said. It is so annoying. I just want to play the game and then I get one-shotted by a Crab tank.
Yeah, that's always a little bit unfortunate, but Crab is no longer just the dictator of game pace it once was. You can still play pretty easily around Crab, especially if it is only one Crab.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have this room back up after, the procedural disconnect that, you have to have at every Splatoon tournament. Every Splatoon tournament, gotta have one disconnect. It's just the law of the land, but we're getting back into things here. The 90-second countdown has started, so we should be getting into some Zone Sturgeon gameplay very soon.
Yeah, again, I'm looking really forward to it, but it's kind of hard to expect what teams are going to do, like pick which weapon, because I feel like teams are really unpredictable because they could just put out the craziest thing that we've ever seen. Maybe we will see a 96 Deco, I don't know. I see there's someone with a brush badge. Maybe we see a brush. We see a brush.
Ooh.
Okay, that's cool. We see L3D, and custom jet. That's cool. While
very interesting comp from Haze. We see C-Jet is going to be the backline of the lobby. Haze, just running in a very interesting comp in general, but that ink brush so good when it gets behind you, and L3D can give you some nice combo pressure. But AFK Nexus running a pretty standard comp. They're running both of the splashes, Machine, which is the 3 most used weapons right now, and that Wiper, and it's serving them pretty well so far. They've been able to establish a very strong control of mid, and they're already pushing forward. But that Wiper's going to go down in Fight Club to the T-Tech. The Splash going to try and get the jump on him, but yeah, Haze is going to lose that fight right now. They're kind of getting forced back. AFK Nexus has a lot of early control right now.
Yeah, and I feel like at the beginning, Haze was kind of good at spacing the other team out, but right now they've kind of taken advantage of that and just kind of pushed in, and they were just using some specials, and we see the brushes getting in, but getting wiped off of that Splatana Wiper. That was not a pun, I promise. And Haze is just trying to get back some control. As we see, there's basically no one left on the side of AFK Nexus. And right now they just kind of space the other team out a little bit more. Yeah, the L3, we see it kind of just using burst bombs. And they just corner this poor Splash-O-Matic. That was kind of brutal, I gotta admit it.
Yeah, Haze got an effective wipeout and has been able to let them get control, but right now they are 2 dead. It's just the C-Jet and the L3 left. Wiper trying to get this jump cam, but actually gets punished for it a little bit. C-Jet is still alive, still anchoring the team very well, and right now Haze has that numbers advantage, and they're getting close on taking that lead, and there it goes. So Haze has the lead now. The Stu's on the other foot, and Nexus really struggling to get back into mid. Zone starting to be contested. This is a big moment of the match, but Haze still has control of the zone even in spite of the tri-strikes, and they're still having a strong numbers advantage right now.
And we see the C-Jet is also not really that passive right now. We see it just kind of lurking around mid, but it's actually doing some good chip damage, I feel like. And if it just stays in mid, it's also a really good painting tool. So right now, they got the wipeout. And the Booyah Bomb.
Very well played game from Haze. They didn't panic, even after a great early push from AFK Nexus, but Haze was able to hold that zone from 100 all the way down to 0, and starting things off strong in this tournament, but we know AFK Nexus definitely has, a good amount of potential, so gonna be an interesting set as we move on to game 2 on, I believe, Zone's Mako.
Oh yeah, I like Zone's Mako. I mean, it's a kind of love-hate relationship, but mostly I love it. I mean, there is like this one balloon in mid, but I don't feel like it's such a big deal because it's not actually paintable. I don't know, I have a problem with maps that have a block in the middle that is paintable. I don't like it.
Why not? You can do some fun wall jump stuff on it. You could if it was paintable, you could squid roll from stack to stack.
Yeah, I mean that
really
is true, but I just hate that it's so hard to paint the zone that way.
I mean, okay,
so
that's true. That is very true. Looking at you, Scorch.
Oh my god. No, really, Zone Scorch is such a bad map mode.
It is a little bit comical, and it may or may not be in our near future.
I hope they fix it. I don't like it.
Maybe they will. But we're talking about good maps. We're talking about Zone's Mako. Just so many ways to get back in. A lot of good entry tools and a good amount of ways to just hold zone as well. I feel like it's a very back and forth map, but it's very balanced, and it's been one of the greatest maps in Splatoon 2. But we're in Splatoon 3. It's still great. Here we go. Game 2, match point for Haze. We see the ZNF charger coming out for Haze. And we're seeing AFK Nexus not changing a thing, but Haze swapping out that CJ for a ZNF charger, not something I expected.
Yeah, I mean, AFK Nexus just sticking to their usual comp is just something that I kind of expected since it's a really strong comp. But switching to that Zekofin Splatter Scope really seems interesting, because it does have a good special, and its kit is really good in general, so they could be more off to kind of, a more special heavy match right now. But we see that Splatana Wiper kind of popping off right now as they kind of got a good flank and just eliminate a lot of the other players, while Haze is just kind of standing back in zone and just kind of trying to extend their turf, and that's just really all they gotta do right now. And we see that Splatana Wiper just getting into the stamp. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, AFK Nexus really knows how to play around a Splatana Wiper, and I mean, they've been showing why Splatana Wiper has been so highly regarded in this meta, because it truly is the perfect aggressive weapon in just about every sense, aside from, its special being less than ideal, but even still, Splatana Wiper is such a good main weapon that we see AFK Nexus getting a lot of value out of it, and that point total is pushing up pretty low now. It's at 32, but Hammer's going to go through zone. Haze is trying to get this paint, and they're going to have the numbers advantage to do so. It's going to be a zone cap for Haze once again, and Nexus kind of on the back foot here. They have to regroup, but the problem is that they don't really have any range without specials, and because of that, that's going to make approaching a ZNF charger very, very difficult if they're not careful. So, you know, AFK Nexus has to be smart with how they want to push back in. They can't afford to get locked out like they did in the last game.
Yeah, but they really had a good starting point right now, because that one T-Tech was just kind of running off of their own. They got punished, and the Brush also got punished, so right now Haze has a really good, AFK Nexus has a really good opportunity, especially since they have the number advantage. And it seems like the players are currently fighting a little bit more solo, just focusing on getting picks to just kind of get their turf back and rule out the other players, especially because that Zekofin splatter scope is just kind of being spaced out because it doesn't have a lot of space right now. As we see, the other team is really good at covering turf and is kind of flanking, especially that Splatana Wiper. But that Zekofin charger got 2 really, really strong picks. That was beautiful.
That ZNF on the side of Haze gets a really nice double there, and that's going to allow Haze to, you know, more authoritatively take control of that zone. That charger's already moving up pretty aggressively, and Haze, I feel like they're doing such a great job of sticking together in terms of fights, and it really makes things a whole lot easier for them, and it's making things harder for AFK Nexus, who's trying to play more solo. AFK Nexus runs at the zone trying to protect their lead, but they go 2 down for it, and that, you know, impatience might have cost them the game here. They're now 2 dead. One's still coming from spawn. It's just this Viper left alone in mid, and they're gonna go down. Haze has such good control right now. They just have to defend for another 5 points on the zone's timer. They're gonna be able to do it. Haze takes the set 2-0.
Okay, that final movement was really funny. Though this just kind of testifies that the crap meta has kind of set down. I mean, we saw L3D, Brush, Zekofin charger. I mean, Zekofin is a weapon that is pretty good in general, I think. And T-Tech is also really good, I think. But Brush and L3D are just weapons that we don't really see that often, I feel like. And it's just really cool to see that there are some off-meta picks in this. It just kind of makes the game more interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like this meta is interesting, not only because I feel like it's more diverse, not only because more stuff is viable, but people are more familiar with their weapons, and therefore they're more willing to deviate from it, because while logistically, yes, you don't really want to pick an L3D over a Splash, L3D still has its advantages, and if you're a good enough one-trick that can play to its strengths, then you can really make things happen, and that's exactly what Haze did. So good on them for winning that first set, but there's still many more sets to come. We're gonna go to a short break here before we come back with the second round of round robin pools. So take care, don't go anywhere, see you guys in a bit.
See ya.
Splatoon Stronghold, a stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you are a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and join tournaments as well as participate in our Captain Forum and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today!